Hello everyone. For those of you I haven't had the pleasure of meeting before, I am Neil Thomas, the Chief Executive here at Animals in Distress, Torbay and West Country. I wanted to take the opportunity to give you an update on the charity, but before I do, it would be extremely remiss of me not to mention the global health and financial catastrophe and challenge we are all continuing to face. First and foremost, our hearts go out to anyone who's been impacted by the virus, either directly or indirectly. Despite the relaxation of certain restrictions, we are still living in a time of collective grief and shared concern. Our thoughts are especially with those who have lost loved ones or who are currently poorly, to whom we extend our heartfelt wishes for a full recovery. We are completely in awe of the selfless healthcare workers who are on the front lines working tirelessly to care for people in need, and we also truly appreciate the endless key workers keeping the country in motion. I would like to start by saying a huge thank you to all of you for your amazing support, particularly over the last few months. It's been a really difficult time for everyone and a very uncertain period for our staff, volunteers and supporters. Lockdown towards the end of March meant that we had to close our rescue centre and shops temporarily, and our income virtually dried up overnight. Unlike many businesses and organisations, we were unable to simply mothball the charity, as we had nearly 100 animals in our care, including a few that had been left at our gates. We still had the ongoing veterinary charges, food, general bills, including utilities and staffing costs to bear, and it was and still does cost many thousands of pounds a week to run the charity. At Animals in Distress, we've always been very careful to look after the pennies, not just the pounds, and having some reserves meant that we entered the pandemic in a better position than many businesses and charities, but we were all very concerned about our future. However, then our wonderful army of supporters stepped in, and we will never be able to thank you enough for what you have done to help the charity during this difficult time. Whether you've donated food, toys or bedding for the animals, donated money, or perhaps bid on an item in our new Facebook auction page, your kindness and generosity has ensured that we have been able to care for the animals at the centre, and that we will be able to continue to take in, care for and find forever homes for many thousands more in the future. We're certainly not out of the woods by any means, and we know that there are further tough times and more challenges ahead. So if you have spent less on fuel or on not going out and feel that you would be able to help, we would greatly appreciate it. It costs just £5 to feed one of the animals in our care for a week, so even a small amount does make a big difference. It will help animals such as Princess Bear, an 11-year-old Border Terrier that came into us as a stray. 10-year-old Susie, a black cat who came to us after her owner sadly passed away. Or Bailey the rabbit, who was rescued from an unsuitable home. So where are we today? All of the animals at the rescue centre continue to receive the best possible care from our amazing staff. Thankfully, the animals are totally oblivious to the COVID situation. The dogs are still having a great time racing around the fields. The cats are spending their days lazing in the sun, and the rabbits and guinea pigs are enjoying exploring the tunnels in the garden. We have started to rehome from the rescue centre again, but it is on an appointment-only basis, and we've put into place clear procedures to do so in order to keep our staff and members of the public safe. We have also taken in a number of animals over the last few weeks and expect there to be many more needing our help over the coming months as people's finances or jobs continue to be adversely affected by the current pandemic and the economic situation. Now, when do we reopen our shops? That's a really difficult decision. We are still keeping them closed for the time being, but are actively exploring ways in which we can reopen them when we feel that the time is right, ensuring the safety of our staff, volunteers and customers. There are many factors to take into consideration, including the fact that many of our shops are relatively small, So social distancing is a real issue as people want to come in to browse, and after all that's what the nature of a charity shop is. Footfall on the high streets is going to take a while to return to pre-lockdown levels as well, if indeed it ever does, so we are watching the situation very closely. Plus, as we rely heavily on our staff and volunteers to run the shops, many of whom are classed as clinically extremely vulnerable, which makes resourcing the staffing an issue for us as well. We are aware that many of you are very kindly holding on to items that you wish to donate to the charity, so we appreciate your support and patience. We know that you love to visit our shops, and we will continue to keep you updated on when they will eventually reopen, and we look forward to the day that we can welcome you back. So finally, on behalf of all the staff and volunteers, and especially the animals, including Rambo here, we thank you for your continued support, and we very much look forward to seeing you at the Rescue Centre or at one of our events in the not too distant future. Thank you.